hung heavy and still. An unnatural silence pervaded the amusement park. Laughter and joyous screams were long gone. Now, only whispers remained. They danced on the wind, rustling through the decaying rides and tangled weeds. This was Whispering Pines, a place where the boundary between fantasy and fear had blurred. It stood abandoned, swallowed by time, and shrouded in unsettling tales. Locals spoke of the park in hushed tones, their voices laced with fear and fascination. They told stories of laughter abruptly silenced. Whispering Pines beckoned, not with the promise of amusement, but with the allure of the macabre. The park's history was a tangled web of half-truths and local legends. Some whispered of a curse, a darkness that had plagued the park from its conception. Others spoke of a tragic accident, a tragedy that had stained the park's soul. Whatever the truth, one thing was certain. Whispering Pines harbored secrets. Despite the unsettling stories and the park's ghostly appearance, a strange allure drew people to Whispering Pines. Perhaps it was the thrill of the unknown, the desire to peer behind the veil of secrets. Or maybe it was the pull of the unseen, the whispers of the past, reaching out, eager to share their tales of horror. Whatever the reason, those who dared to venture into the heart of Whispering Pines never returned quite the same. They spoke of cold spots, of disembodied laughter echoing through the empty arcade. They described an overwhelming sense of dread, a feeling of being watched by unseen eyes. The wind howled through the skeletal remains of the roller coaster, a mournful symphony of despair. Each gust seemed to carry a new whisper, a new fragment of the park's tragic past. Whispering Pines was more than just an abandoned amusement park. The year was 1978. A man named Arthur Blackwood had a vision. He dreamt of a place where families could escape, a world of laughter and joy. His dream was Whispering Pines. Blackwood poured his heart and soul into the project. Every detail, meticulously planned. From the whimsical carousel to the gravity-defying roller coaster, Whispering Pines was to be a masterpiece. Construction began on a sprawling plot of land, nestled amidst the Whispering Pines of Redwood Valley. Excitement rippled through the community, eager to witness the birth of Blackwood's dream. On a bright summer morning, the gates swung open. Whispering Pines welcomed the world with open arms. Throngs of eager visitors flooded the park. Children, wide-eyed with awe, dragged their parents towards the attractions. The air crackled with anticipation. The carousel, a riot of color and light, became an instant favorite. The roller coaster, a behemoth of steel and excitement, elicited screams of both terror and delight. Every corner of the park pulsated with life. The aroma of popcorn and cotton candy wafted through the air, mingling with the sweet scent of pine. For a while, Whispering Pines was everything Blackwood had envisioned, and more. The park was a wonderland of whimsical attractions. The Pirate's Plunge promised a thrilling splashdown. The Haunted Hayride offered a spooky journey into the heart of darkness. Each attraction transported visitors to realms of fantasy and adventure. One of the park's centerpieces was the enchanted forest. Animatronic creatures resided amidst the trees. The forest, bathed in an ethereal glow, was a testament to Blackwood's dedication. For a time, Whispering Pines flourished. Families created memories. Children believed that magic truly existed within the park's colorful walls. The success of Whispering Pines was short-lived. The laughter began to fade, replaced by unease. Incidents were dismissed as accidents. A child fell ill on the tilt-a-whirl. A teenager sprained her ankle on the pirate ship. Employees shared nervous glances. They spoke of cold spots and shadows. Pinecone Pete's grin became a menacing leer. The whispers grew louder, evolving from hushed rumors among employees to uneasy murmurs among visitors. Parents reported their children seeing shadowy figures in the enchanted forest. The animatronic creatures, once objects of wonder, now elicited fear with their erratic movements. A string of minor accidents plagued the park. The Ferris wheel stalled at its peak, trapping terrified passengers. Blackwood, his dream crumbling, refused to believe the rumors. But deep down, a seed of doubt had been planted. As the summer wore on, the incidents escalated. A fire, erupting in the middle of the day, engulfed the prize-winning cotton candy stand, leaving behind a smoldering ruin. The park's electrician, attempting to repair the faulty wiring in the haunted hayride, disappeared without a trace. The park's atmosphere grew heavy, oppressive. The air, once filled with the sounds of laughter and the sweet smell of treats, now carried a faint metallic tang. Blackwood, his face etched with worry, tried to maintain a sense of normalcy, but the damage was done. The air hung thick with foreboding. It was the night of the annual Whispering Pines Summer Festival. A last-ditch effort by Blackwood to salvage his dream. The park, sparsely decorated, felt more like a ghost town than a carnival. The few families in attendance seemed to huddle together, their laughter strained, their eyes darting nervously towards the shadows. Blackwood, his face pale and drawn, paced near the entrance, forcing a smile at every passing visitor. He clung to the hope that the festival would be a turning point, but the shadows seemed to have other plans. The night unraveled in a maelstrom of terror. A blood-curdling scream pierced the air, followed by the sickening crunch of metal against bone. The Ferris wheel, groaning under an invisible strain, had broken free from its moorings. Its carriages spun wildly, flinging terrified passengers into the darkness like rag dolls. Chaos erupted. Panicked screams filled the air as people scrambled for the exits, trampling each other in their desperate bid for escape. The park, once a symphony of light and sound, descended into a cacophony of screams, sirens, and the sickening groan of twisted metal. As quickly as it began, the carnage ended. An eerie silence descended upon Whispering Pines. The air, thick with the stench of blood and burnt metal, hung heavy and still. The wind, as if exhausted from its night of terror, ceased its mournful whispers. Only the distant wail of approaching sirens broke the silence. The park stood deserted, a monument to Blackwood's shattered dream. The Ferris wheel lay in a mangled heap, a testament to the night's horrors. Blackwood, his spirit broken, wandered through the wreckage, his eyes vacant, his steps mechanical. Whispering Pines never reopened. The carnival music was silenced, the joyful screams replaced by a haunting silence. The park, once teeming with life, was now a graveyard of broken dreams, haunted by the ghosts of a tragic past. The air, heavy with the scent of decay and the weight of unspoken horrors, whispered tales of those lost and those left behind. Locals spoke of strange occurrences, unexplained phenomena that chilled them to the bone. The ghostly laughter of children echoed through the decaying arcades, their spectral forms spotted on the rusted swings. Even the bravest souls steered clear of Whispering Pines after dark. Among the many chilling tales associated with Whispering Pines, one stood out: the legend of Emily. A young girl with bright eyes and an infectious laugh, Emily had vanished from the park on that fateful summer night. Some say Emily had been last seen near the enchanted forest, lured into the shadows by the malevolent animatronic creatures. Others claimed she had been riding the Ferris wheel when it broke free, her laughter turning to a scream that echoed through the night. Her story served as a chilling reminder of the park's dark heart, a warning to those who dared to enter. Whispering Pines stood frozen in time, a skeletal reminder of a bygone era. The Ferris wheel, its metal bones twisted and broken, scraped against the sky, a giant, rusting tombstone. The enchanted forest, once a place of wonder, was now a thicket of shadows and decay, its inhabitants frozen in silent screams. Years turned into decades, but the memory of that horrific night lingered. Whispering Pines became a sinister landmark, a place whispered about but rarely visited, except by thrill-seeking teenagers and paranormal investigators. Each tale added another layer to the park's morbid mythology, solidifying its reputation as a place where the veil between the living and the dead was thin. The rusted gates of Whispering Pines remained chained, a stark warning to any who dared to trespass. Nature had begun to reclaim the park, weaving through the cracks, embracing the decaying rides. Vines snaked up the Ferris wheel, their emerald tendrils contrasting the rusty metal. The once vibrant colors had faded to muted hues, leaving behind a hollow shell. The silence was deceptive. It was a heavy, expectant hush, as if the park were holding its breath. The air was thick with the scent of pine needles and damp earth, but beneath lingered a faint, metallic tang. The townsfolk still spoke of Whispering Pines in hushed tones, their voices laced with fear and fascination. The park had become a local legend, a cautionary tale whispered from generation to generation. One chilly evening, as the sun dipped below the horizon, casting long shadows across the deserted park, a lone figure stood at the edge of the tree line. Drawn by whispers of Whispering Pines, he sought the truth behind the legends. Stepping through a gap in the fence, a gust of wind sent a shiver down his spine. He walked through overgrown pathways, his footsteps echoing in the stillness. Pausing by the skeletal remains of a roller coaster, he imagined past screams of delight. At the decaying carousel, its painted horses were frozen in time. Then he heard it, a soft, childlike giggle from all around. He turned towards the sound, his heart pounding. In the fading light, he saw her, a young girl with pigtails, her dress faded and torn. She smiled, an innocent smile that belied the eerie stillness of her eyes. And then she vanished, leaving him alone with the echoing silence. The laughter of Whispering Pines never truly died. It whispered on the wind, a chilling reminder that some places never let go of their past.